For this project, you will need fabric for the outside, the lining, some ribbon or string to tie your choker, any embellishments, and the free printable pattern, which I will link below in the video description. After printing your pattern, fold your outer fabric and place the pattern on the fold where indicated on the pattern. Pin it down and then carefully cut around, not cutting the fold. You should have a piece now that looks like this. Repeat that process with your lining fabric. Now you will have two identical pieces of the outer fabric and lining fabric. You can put your lining fabric aside and begin embellishing your outer fabric. For example, I'm using lace here. I'm cutting them to the size of the fabric, and then I will make sure they are centered and pin them down so that I can stitch along the edges. Now that I have them stitched along the edges, I'm just trimming some thread off and also trimming the excess lace that hangs off the edges. To do my embroidery, I'm going to place my outer fabric in an embroidery hoop to keep it somewhat taut. And then I'm going to draw a freehand design. You can use a template or some other design, but I'm just doing a very simple drawing here. I'm using some DMC cotton embroidery floss and a larger embroidery needle to stitch my flower. When I'm finished stitching, I bring my thread to the back and tie it off securely. Now that I've finished embellishing the front of my fabric, I'm going to take a length of ribbon about 28 to 30 inches and cut it in half. Now I'm going to tack it to the end here of the front, and I will do that with both sides. Once you've tacked your ties on, you can take the lining fabric and pin it to the front of your outer fabric, and the right sides, or the more decorative sides that you want showing, should be facing each other when you pin this down. Be careful to not pin the ties into the seam, and then stitch all around, leaving a few inches of an opening at the bottom here. I would recommend using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance for this. At this point, you can trim your corners so that there's less bulk when you turn your choker right side out, but be careful to not actually cut into the stitching. You can also, at this point, clip your curves, which will help again when you turn your choker right side out. And once more, be careful to not cut into the actual stitches. Now, using the opening you left at the bottom, turn your piece right side out. Use something pointy like a knitting needle or the end of a paintbrush to get the corners pushed out all of the way. After you've turned your choker right side out and got all the seams pushed out, fold your opening under 3/8 of an inch or so to the inside and then press your choker. Now take a needle and thread, and you're going to use a ladder stitch to sew this opening shut. Your finished piece should look something like this. You can use different forms of embellishment and lace and trim to create a variety of styles. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more handmade goodness. Be sure to check my blog out at mothandrustdiy.com, where you will find more free patterns and tutorials, or follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I will leave those links in the video description.